But as I'm saying that, I need to calmly try to express myself. As I know that as target individual, one thing is for sure is when they manipulate you to experience nasty things, they want you to accept these manipulations, because they want you to identify with the things that's happening to your brain as you see things in these disturbing, disgusting ways, which are pedophilia centric. You see this ad, all through the day. It's been nastiness and disgusting things, trying to make me look at this in a sexual way. You see this picture of this little baby, so like adorable, but they made me imagine. These things that it's just so the way they make me experience it. They make me imagine something sexual with this baby. They start off like something kind of like cute in the sense of, oh, you just try to kiss the cheek of like of a kid, but turn into something sexual and creating thoughts. And I'm looking at this picture as I try to describe the way they try to make me have this disgusting ways of perceiving and thinking about babies. They try to make it first imagining that to be a wholesome moment, right? You just like gonna go giving some kisses on cheek and then turn that into sexual things. It's always nasty. Of course, it's them manipulating me this way. And they also try to create scenarios in my head. It's like, yeah, but imagine you were alone with this baby and you're sexual stimulated, and you did and try to create these things. And there's like, yeah, but when you're a kid, this is something you could think, and it's so disturbing. Now, I speak about what they do to me because I know it's them manipulating me to think in these disgusting ways. They want you to accept these ways that you're manipulated to think, and identify and feel guilty for the way they make you think. You gotta be strong, because they're gonna try to even do their best to try to make you think that this is some way you will think naturally. How many times I love watching things where I loved watching things where there's babies and things like that. Now it's just manipulated in these disgusting ways, and you hear these bottom fears who are contracted to make you identify to these things. It's like, it's fate, and try to use this fierce voice, which is trashy, low life, bottom fears, cowardness, try to get you to accept these things. Because of course, when I speak, I don't speak just for myself. They do these things to others. In my brain, they try to make me think about when you were a kid, this and that. I was like, listen, I'm not a kid, I'm a grown-ass man. But what you do and how you've been manipulating people to think has been consistent. You force people to think in this pedophilia ways. With me, they try to make me think that I would think like that when I was a child. It's not the case, but I'm not a child. I'm a grown man. So you tell me that you make me, like, you understand? They try to sound like, well, it's fate. They don't torture babies that young. They know that. I know that. There is no way there is a way to make themselves look in different ways than what they are part of. Nasty bottom feeders who work for entities filled with pedophiles, which I have no problem bringing that up every time. Because it's fate that these bottom feeders try to make you think in these ways, being humiliated by reality that the entities contracting this trash actually filled with pedophiles, and these tactics have been done to others. And it's fate that others, testimonials from others, showing that not only they do the pedophilia type of torture, but they will torture children like that. It is fate that this trash wanted to escape into a fantasy where these people wanted to be seen in this fashion, but reality has exposed them for the trash and bottom fears and coward that would torture babies like that. Now, I know that's going to make my case even worse, because fate has embarrassed them, and now they're here trying to make me think in these pedophilia ways and be like, no, but if you're a kid, if you're trash ass, creating thoughts to make me imagine this nastiness, and then try to say, but when you were a kid, remember that feeling when you were, when you were like, and then try to find moments, when you're in your childhood, when you feel like sexual stimulation and as a child, and then try to implant that as an adult, and imagine, but if you're alone with this child and you were thinking like this, the way you were thinking when you were a child in these ways, and then to create a way to think that is going to make you accept this manipulation as if it's happening naturally. It's disgusting. And then they make me think, but remember what you did as a kid? The stupid thing you did to me. It's a moment of impulsive moment of a child doing something to himself. It was just stupid like that. But they know these things. Obviously, we're talking to people who are torturing children themselves. And they want you as a grown adult man to think that these ways of thinking will come naturally. These things, for me, the way I will look at this, if I was me, which is no longer the case, I haven't been myself since August 19, 2019. I'll look at this kid as I go, look at this adorable baby. So, now it's turning into something sexual. That's, I mean, and it's crazy that I have to say that, but I used to watch plenty like videos of wholesome videos with babies and kids and things. Now these things is this, even the ad can just disturb me. And they try their best to make me think, but you think when you were a kid, this and that. Oh. To try to get you to accept you, a late to 30-year-old man, that what you're experiencing today is just happening naturally. It's fate. It's fate. You're right. It's fate that in the midst of you guys, when I mean you guys, I obviously mean these perps who are trying to make you accept this pedophilia type of torture. Being humiliated by the fact there's entities filled with pedophiles doing these things that they make me imagine. And those entities are running this fucking program that is manipulating us target individuals to think in these disturbing ways. And they use these coward bottom feeders. I remember I was in the office and they use these weak bottom feeders. And she's like, oh, be strong, because she's seen the torture I'm going to experience. And I'm like, stay weak. They just a nobody trash like that who's been humiliated. My torture doesn't validate you. You can't even say the name of a pedophile. Are you going to listen to what you guys do? I did not make these testimonies. Be weak. Because weakness is going to help you cope with this reality that you put together. I will never imagine these things and never have this perception and stimulations. And for them to try to make me think that the way how I would imagine that is if I was a child. If I was alone, and I say exactly what they do to me because they want you to feel ashamed and scared for the manipulation they make you experience. They call it open-minded because their goal is to try to make you think about children in a sexual way, and they find ways for you to try to be acceptive of this. I didn't have to mind those testimonies that shows the exact torment I'm experiencing. This is the things that they make me experience all the time. This baby try to make me do sexual thoughts that will make me happy. It was disgusting. They try to, how as a father and they try to change it to something sexual and make me think when I have sexual moments with a woman and combine these things, and it's just disturbingness of just pure manipulation, and they want you to be subscribed to this. But for me, as they try to make me look at these things and make me experience it and experience these pedophilia things, for me it's simple. You will never escape from that. You're right, it is fate. I'm going to make you understand why it's fate. Not for me. I know who put me in this program. As much as they try to manipulate in my memories to make me accept this notion of myself that they want me to be. Because validations are abundant on my end. There's no manipulation. We just listen to others saying the same thing. And he does know this because others have said the same thing. People have said what I experienced. It feels surreal. And these next door trash, bottom feeders, who are trying to get you to accept these things will not make you subscribe to this. Because of these things that you don't listen. And I'll never subscribe to these things that they make me experience.
Trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting. Take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't.
To their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted pathologists working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic. And they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated.
That wasn't paused, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you were trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my ASS, so just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming at the youth. A people, better said young people, also children.
With a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, he was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. The CIA did not answer detailed questions, saying only that the agency takes all allegations.
That's a direct quote.
Wow. Okay, here's more from this, and we'll finish this and then move on to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. But sexual crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks. If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind
called V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual as well.
So, it's funny, as I just heard this, I heard these people try to curse me, you're a stupid pedo. Mind you, these people, I guess, would be the smart pedos because they have working for DARPA entities, very smart entities with pedos in them. But, I was listening to my recording. They have a way to force you to say things that you don't mean to say. I said, they try to always bring up what you did as a kid. I did something stupid, impulsive that is really something I did to myself, but it was impulsive as a moment of a child. And I said something where they made me say they themselves torture children, as if I torture children, or as if I've tortured a child. Reality is these people torture children, as you heard the testimonial, suffocating, sexual torture, and all that. And for me, it's manipulations. It's manipulations of even my memory of what I actually did as an impulsive kid who did something to himself. They try to even exaggerate things. And they try to make me think of, to try to counter the reality, they torture children. I will never let them escape. You heard what these people do. You understand there's a pattern of torture they do. Psychological torture, and what they've done to children is what you just heard. So for me, it's important to continuously point out the things they want me to experience and how they make me want to subscribe to these things they obviously manipulate me to experience. And they're going to go through the scripts to try to counter and disorient and distort reality.